Good evening and welcome back this Thursday, the 28th day of January. That gives us 3 more days left in the first month of 2016, all of which will be interesting and eventful weather-wise. If you call the mid-60s eventful, I would, given the fact that we're still under several inches of snowfall, the remnants of 17 to 20 inches for most all of us. And the weather activity does not stop there by any stretch of the imagination. So I'm going to add a little insult to injury, I am afraid, as we look towards next week weather-wise. We'll have an update on one of our top stories last evening. I've got more victims and more information in regards to McGoffin County man who was jailed for defrauding some unemployed McGoffin and other men from other counties out of several dollars, promising them hope and jobs. And it was not what they had expected to do. I sat down today in an interview with Superintendent of Schools Tom Salyer of Johnson County when they were forced to make an unusual decision, one they were not expecting, to literally close, and it looks as though permanently, one of its long-standing elementary schools. And we'll talk with him in a few moments. A quick reminder before I go any further, it's already begun. Thanks for staying with me, and I'll have highlights tomorrow, hopefully for both, as the McGoffin County Board of Education is also meeting this evening, and I hope to be there, as well as the doubleheader tonight. McGoffin County Lady Hornets and Hornets in that order, hosting the ladies and gentlemen from Johnson Central. First game at 6, second at 7:30. The high school dance team was expecting, I want to say, some special company that I'm hoping to get to talk to, and I think I got a whole lot of news wrapped around this evening. That's after I, of course, leave you wonderful folks who are joining me tonight. With all of that said, I'm going to start off with just a bit about your weather. Yeah, 66 degrees is what I've got on your Tuesday of next week. And after that's going to be after, of course, a quick burst of cold air tonight puts us back into the 20s. All of that warm air, though, is going to cause some problems, and it's going to be a prelude of things to come. Right now, we're looking at another storm of the opposite spectrum, or in the opposite spectrum, a potent storm that could fuel a significant severe weather outbreak over part of the southern plains and Mississippi Valley early next week. Right around the same time Groundhog Day is going to roll around. The warm-up and strong winds associated with the system are just going to add more fuel to the fire and possibly fuel up some heavy, gusty thunderstorms that could evolve into a severe weather outbreak, perhaps over the Mississippi and lower Ohio valleys on next Tuesday. All that warm air is going to be a prelude of things to come, possibly. It's still uncertain as to the exact timing and track and severity of which, but I can tell you right now there's going to be possibly a threat for some isolated tornadic activity, damaging winds, flash flooding, also a problem. We see any heavy rains and we're going to see some flooding problems. Another aspect will be some snow and wind on the northwestern section of the storm. During Monday night, the first powerful thunderstorms of the event will start to break out in parts of western Missouri, eastern portions of Oklahoma and Texas. States that could face severe weather during the period from Tuesday through Tuesday night include several: Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri, Kentucky, a great deal of Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana. The severe weather threat could extend as far as far north as St. Louis, Indianapolis, and Cincinnati, and as far south as New Orleans, Mobile, Alabama, Pensacola, Florida for a time Tuesday and Tuesday night. So while I do have 66 degrees and right now partly sunny skies, we could also be in for a very bumpy ride starting Tuesday night as well. Not looking forward to it, and predictions aren't looking favorable at this time. More on that later. Our headlines are coming up in just a few moments, as I've done a few times here as of late. We'll do things a bit out of sorts and out of schedule and go on over to tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau Community Calendar, where I've got an update for you about an event that has been planned by the Funyuns Extension Homemakers Club here in McGoffin County through the McGoffin County Extension Service. Due to all the bad weather, they have extended the registration until the end of tomorrow for their Frozen Tea Party. Not Frozen Tea, but, Frozen, the movie theme. Well, you can dine like royalty, ladies. Lunch with Elsa and Anna, crafts, activities, and fun. It's going to be this Saturday, day after tomorrow, from 11 to 1, $10. Bring your favorite teacup if you'd like and dress up in your favorite Frozen outfit, and they've still got room available. There is limited seating. They've still got room available if you call before the end of tomorrow and register at the extension office. Just $10 per little lady, and you can call 349-3216. With that said, a few birthday wishes and a reminder about a big upcoming sweet and tasty event hosted by a local church about an annual event they've been having for years. The biggest fundraiser, and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So let's start with birthday wishes. This one says, please wish Ollie Howard a happy birthday today. With a lot of love from Terry and a whole lot of family and friends as well. Happy birthday to Ollie Howard. And there's those real special birthdays, you know, that we all have at some point or other. And he's having his today. Happy 13th birthday to Julius Brown Jr. Love mom, dad, sisters, memas, and papa. He is now 18. Julius Brown Jr., happy birthday to you. Get your reservations now, because before it's over, probably 600 folks or more will have done so, and they might run out of room. It's happened. The Burning Fork Community Church's annual Sweetheart Banquet is Saturday, February the 13th, 3 till 8 p.m. Call Pastor Doug Dunn for reservations at 349-6400 or Kenneth and Irma Conley at 349-3156. I know it's not until the 13th. That is a little more than 2 weeks away. Get your reservations now to either dine in or carry out. You don't really need reservations to get a calendar announcement on the program or a birthday or anniversary. You just need to get them to us. You can mail it, email it, Facebook, phone, fax, drop it off here at the newsroom. And you can always catch our programming. Thank goodness I have the website back up and running. We got a new piece of equipment in, and hopefully it will be seamless for at least a little while, so you can catch programming the following day in case you missed it the first time on yournewstoday.com. In tonight's funeral service listings, a reminder about services to be held tomorrow morning at 11 for Don Wendell Minix of Sagersville. He passed away on Sunday and leaves behind his wife, Wilma Jean Howard Minix, sons Martin Wendell, Alan Wayne, and Brandon Scott Minix. Visitation continues this evening and up until tomorrow morning's services, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow at the Highland Memorial Cemetery in Staffordsville. 73-year-old Carolyn Pennington of Falcon passed away on the 26th, on Tuesday of this week, preceded in death by her husband Bill. She's survived by sons David, Jeffrey, Thomas, and a daughter, Susie Cash. Visitation is this evening, and up until services, they start in the morning in her honor at 11 o'clock. Services will be at the Middle Fork United Baptist Church, and burial will follow at the Pennington Family Cemetery at Burton Fork. The Sagersville Funeral Home is handling arrangements. 68-year-old Justine Howard Gamble of Littorals Fork Road passed away on the 26th. She was the daughter of the late Lester Howard and Monty Phipps. She's survived by her husband Chester, a son Marty Gamble, and a daughter Vita Adams. Visitation is the rest of this evening, and prior to tomorrow afternoon services, they'll start at 2 o'clock in her honor. Services and visitation at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Burial follows at the Gamble Cemetery on Painter's Lick. 80-year-old Barbara Ann Crace Arnett of Littorals Fork Road passed away on the 16th, survived by daughters Marilyn Jo Salyers and Jacqueline Minix. Visitation is this evening, and visitation is tomorrow evening after 5, and prior to Saturday services, they'll start Saturday morning at 11, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And lastly, tonight's service is to be held in honor of 79-year-old Hershel Eugene Hall of Easley, South Carolina. He passed away on January the 27th, formerly of McGoffin County. He was the son of the late Garfield and Mary Hall. He's survived by sisters Loretta Hamilton and Rose Holland. Funeral services for Hershel Eugene Hall will be held in South Carolina this Sunday.
More victims and more information in regards to the McGoffin County man identified and accused and jailed for defrauding several individuals out of several dollars, promising them good paying jobs here at home with no way of providing them or any job himself, it appears as though. We'll have that headline in just a few moments. Right now, the following interview when I sat down with Superintendent of Johnson County Schools earlier today, Tom Salyer, where we discussed the fact that heavy snow most likely revealed and perhaps even worsened an aging situation of Meade Memorial Elementary School in Johnson County, originally built back in 1942, one of two original schools still in Johnson County with a storied history of the Red Devils and its academics, a distinguished school across the Commonwealth. Meade Elementary's future, however, suddenly in question, and looks as though there may not be one for that structure, at least. As it turns out, the school district recently formed, or is in the process of forming, a facilities plan to get some new structures and some updates, and a new Meade Elementary was to be part of that plan, to happen somewhere down the road. But just as the district was about to put that plan to paper, or to work, so to speak, they will now have to move Meade Elementary to an emergency status, because after a recent inspection that followed employees just yesterday noticing several leaks in several classrooms, they have effectively shut down the facility and pretty much just banned it from any further use.
Our maintenance staff went over and reviewed what was going on at and noticed again, as the Meade staff had numerous water leaks in some rooms. We also noticed that it was coming down a wall pretty good there, and there are plaster walls on the inside Meade, and then the outside block there. One block place is pretty moist, and we kind of touched it a little bit, and it kind of fell apart. We noticed, I guess, water's running down between the block and the inside plaster. Our maintenance director notified me of that and made me aware of that. And I said, well, we'll look at that and see what's going on. I knew yesterday morning that we were having a facilities meeting with our architect. We're starting a new facilities plan here in Johnson County Schools, beginning to work on that. And he's been out assessing some of our buildings and across the district, and do that as a preliminary start to that. I said, just ask him if he'll spend a few extra minutes with us and go over there and see if he can give us some idea of what we can, temporarily do to, to shore up whatever, the leak is across the building.
They, along with the architect and an engineer, all went to Meade Elementary and found more than what they had hoped for. When they looked where ceiling tiles once were just days ago, they found roof joists rusted, some with holes, some rusted out, some pulled loose, and all agreed the building was not safe for students or staff, and it has effectively been closed immediately. After which they notified the board and met with school principal Brenton Dials and his staff last night.
I met with all of his staff. I felt himself and his employees deserved to be the first people to know what was going on. Again, we were trying to do this we had no intention of, I think when we walked over there yesterday morning thinking we was going to have to close Meade Memorial building. But again, we have to take the advice of what are the experts in the field on that also. And the last thing we want to do would be any employee or student get hurt during this situation.
A short-term plan, and what could and will more than likely become a longer-term plan, is to literally move all that they can from Meade Memorial to Central Elementary and operate both schools as independently of one another as they can under the same roof.
We would like to have a school within a school over there, so to speak, or two schools within the same building. I don't know what to be the correct terminology for that. We'd like to have as least disruption and as possible in doing this. We would like to take, as I said, Miss Hyden or Miss Gerald or Miss Ramey or whoever the teacher is at Meade, and when they come in here on Monday morning over Central Elementary, there'll be their room, there'll be those students from those teachers' students' desks, their things from Meade Memorial will be sitting there, and we'll try to make this transition as seamless as possible by doing that. I think that's the most appropriate thing to do. It's a great community over there at Meade Memorial, a long historic history of being involved in that school, that system. That's one of the only, I guess, two schools left in the district that was combined back here in '68 to make Johnson Central High School. It has a lot of history and things associated with it there, not only academics but athletics and things along those lines.
There was to be a special meeting of the Johnson County Board of Education today at 3 o'clock. We'll have a report on that later. There was also going to be a public forum of sorts, if you will, afterwards to answer any questions for parents and public at large. Preliminary data indicates that it would cost more to repair Meade Elementary, Meade Memorial Elementary, than it would to rebuild a new school. Still a great deal of unknowns. What is known right now is that they are moving as quickly as possible all of the contents from Meade Memorial to Central Elementary, where those two schools will share the same facility for the foreseeable future. I'll be right back.
For high-speed internet starting at 15 meg for all of your gaming, movie, home, and business solutions, or to watch TV, including your favorite local channels without a contract with hundreds of channels and digital and HD quality, and to stay connected 24/7 with friends and family, a direct line to 911, or to give your business the link it needs, choose telephone service you know is always there. Just click on their link on this site to find out how affordable the latest technology in communications can be. Foothills Communications.
The McGoffin County Sheriff's Department has so far identified at least one more victim, they believe, with more to come possibly as well. And I've gathered some more information about the accused, Paul Justin Arnett of McGoffin County, in regards to his arrest and an investigation that still centers around his defrauding, says authorities, several individuals out of several dollars, $55 to $230 each from what we've already been able to ascertain, in promises of getting them good-paying jobs, as himself to be the superintendent of a major construction company. He was getting money from them, as he said that it was needed up front on a reimbursement basis for either insurance or union dues or uniforms. We spoke with two men yesterday, one of them a victim, the other his cousin, and almost a victim when he learned about the scam just before he turned over some cash, both of them unemployed and looking for work like the others.
The Sheriff's Department confirmed to me just a few moments ago that they have now identified so far 7 victims who were each defrauded out of significant amounts of money, anywhere from $55 to well over $200, by Paul Justin Arnett. And they tell me they still expect that number to continue to grow as word continues to filter throughout not just this county, but others.
I just would like all victims to come forward if they find, and we will possibly try to get any monies they've been out back to them in some form of restitution by the perpetrator.
And as I reported to you last night, Paul Justin Arnett is charged thus far with 1 count of theft by deception under $10,000. It's my understanding that instead of charging him with each count individually under $500, it was all combined for the under $10,000 count, making it a felony charge. He was lodged in the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center and bonded out less than 24 hours later. I did also speak with his federal probation and parole officer earlier today, Roger Varney, who confirmed that a conviction, even a misdemeanor, would send him back for the remainder of his supervised release. He was sentenced in September of 2012 to 36 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Those charges, similar to these to some degree, he was found guilty of making a false certification on a Mine Safety and Health Administration form and making false statements to federal investigators in the case. He was selling fraudulent mining certification forms. He was released from that jail term on supervised release almost a year ago on January the 30th of last year. And by my math, that means he has approximately 2 years of supervised release left on his parole, in addition to the charges that he is now facing. Charges he now faces in regards to frauding individuals out of what may have been their last dollar or last borrowed dollar in an effort for them to get employment to feed and take care of their family.
I know another local boy said he borrowed the money off his grandpa. His grandpa didn't have it, he didn't have it.
He got him out of $155.
And, he had to tell his grandpa it was a scam. So, and the other 2 guys from the counties, I think one of them, they had borrowed money off their family and they had 2 children. I've got 2 kids, he's got 1. If he'd have got him, that's just more money he'd have been out. It's not stealing from me, it's stealing from my 2 little girls.
Yeah.
The 2 fellows in other counties, he got them for $230 each. And took them to the job and told them that they had to pay a year's union dues, had to pay for, I think it was like 2 months insurance up front.
And a uniform.
They would be reimbursed, and that was their uniforms included.
And they told me that on several occasions when he would have someone come to his house under these false pretenses, he would ask them to drive him to various parts of the county. Grape Creek was an example. To the store to get cigarettes, saying his company truck wasn't running. They believe often to buy drugs with their own money.
He told everybody that he'd give a job. He offered them a maintenance job, which would be a Boston truck and, brand new truck, and this and that.
Cell phone,
and there was a brand new Ford pickup sitting in his driveway. But anyway, what he'd do, he'd get you, and like he got me and my dad to run him around to Grape Creek. And they got another boy to run him all over town and in the Middle Fork and back home.
So I don't know
I mean,
if
that's
that might have
just-
been drugs he was going and getting with that money, maybe.
That's what I think it was.
We'll, of course, keep following the story, and I'll be right back after these messages. All right, let's put the lid on this one with your Licking Valley RECC forecast. A low of 20 tonight. I've got 43 and falling right now, shortly after, well, right at 6:30 almost. And with that, increasing clouds tonight, a 20% chance of some sprinkles and flurries. Yeah, a little precipitation headed this way could be enough to put down a few light snow showers whenever the temperature finally gets below freezing. We're still a little ways from there. And a chance of those flurries continuing up until, say, 10 or 11 in the morning. Not a major snow event. Just a reminder, well, even though we've got 66 in the forecast for just a few days from now, that winter's still here. Tomorrow, not 66, 30 degrees off that mark. Your Friday looks to be 36, partly sunny, and after that chance of flurries, only partly cloudy skies thereafter, and a west wind on your Friday, 6 to 9 miles per hour, becoming calm by tomorrow night, but well below freezing, and back into the 20s will go tomorrow night. Saturday, that's when the warm air starts to push in to the tune of 56 degrees. We've got sunny skies, calm winds becoming south-southwest 5 to 8, maybe some gusts Saturday upwards of 16 miles per hour, so definitely mild and somewhat breezy, and a nighttime low well above freezing. Very welcomed at that. And check out the 60s across the board. Rolling in Sunday with a 61-degree day, mostly sunny. Only a slight chance of some showers. That's mainly around 11 o'clock Sunday night, midnight or so. So pretty much an ideal weekend. I mean, there's still going to be snow on the ground. There's still going to be snow on the ground, and it's going to be 60 degrees Sunday. Now that's, think about that for just a minute. We've got that 20% chance of some showers Sunday night and into your Monday, and this is when things will start to really need to be watched. And we'll talk more about it next week, certainly. But 60 Monday, a low of 46, mostly cloudy skies, a 30% chance of some showers. And that chance will actually decrease as the night goes on. But it's Tuesday we've got our eyes on, and another significant storm system that could give us some severe weather. We're talking 66 degrees on your Tuesday, a 40% chance of showers early, showers likely that evening. We might see a little sun to start off, but by the time this system moves in, we could see the potential for some severe weather like I referred to at the top of the program. That's as far as I'll go with it right now. We'll talk a bit more about it tomorrow night and have time on Monday, but man, what another roller coaster ride. Well, we haven't got off this one, so let's just say we're still on the same one. You're talking about within a week's time, or give or take, 20 inches of snow, 66 degrees, and possible severe weather on top of that. Name another state. Name another state, I dare you, where that could happen.
It's going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. I'm off to catch what I can of the Lady Hornets hosting Johnson Central, as well as the boys doing so at 7:30. And the McGough County Board of Education was to meet this evening in the middle of all of that. And I know of at least one significant announcement that was supposed to be forthcoming during that meeting that I'll be able to elaborate more on when I see you back here next time for more of Your News Today. Good night, and thanks for being here.